If a little green is good, more is even better. Now, back to Green is Good with John Shegerian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good, and we're so honored today to have Dr. Todd Spinks on with us. He's the director of the Office of Sustainability at the University of North Texas. A great big hello to Todd Spinks from Green is Good.
Well, good day, gentlemen, and hello and Happy New Year to you and to all of your listeners today.
Hey, Dr. Spinks, you are amazing. And, first thing I want to share, because I share this with my children all the time, the importance of a great education. And I just want to share this as inspiration for our listeners out there. You are not only an alumni of the University of North Texas, and you hold a bachelor degree in international studies and history, but you also hold a master's degree in political science and a PhD in information science. That's correct.
Spent a lot of time trying to improve my understanding in a lot of different areas to kind of combine with a lot of the experience that I had before in the military and doing some other activities in my life.
I mean, just truly amazing and really inspirational, because there's nothing more important than our youth now getting educated, and much more than just a college degree now, going on to masters and doctorates and stuff like that. So thank you, and that's why it truly is an honor to have you on today. And not only that, you are also served time in the Environmental Protection Agency. Can you share a little bit about what you did there?
Absolutely. When I was working with the EPA, U.S. EPA, I was stationed there in the headquarters in the Dallas-Fort Worth region, Region 6, and basically oversaw some of our more innovative and novel outreach efforts and research endeavors, reaching out to the global community, addressing climate change issues, the challenges related to the effects of climate change around the global community, and trying to bring together some persons from around that community to discuss how they're overcoming some of those challenges, how they're mitigating some of those effects, and then linking that with some very innovative, groundbreaking research activities where we brought experts, academics, professionals from around the international community to kind of address those challenges in a very practical and pragmatic way, whereby practices and policies could be developed at the grassroots level in order to help small communities overcome some of those very significant effects of climate change.
Wonderful. What year did you then come on over to UNT, the University of North Texas?
I'm approaching my second year here, so 2 years ago this February. Came from the EPA over to the University of North Texas.
Got it. And and not only do we have a lot to talk about with all the great initiatives that you've undertaken there, but we do know that your team there is called the Mean Green.
That's correct. Our athletics folks years ago, when Mean Joe Green attended UNT, they took on the name Mean Green. And here more recently, the students have kind of inspired the entire UNT family to posit that slogan, "We mean green." And so not only are we the Mean Green, but we mean green.
Wow, I love it. That is so great. So now you come on over about 2 years ago, and you come on over and you're working with the president of the university and the other leaders of the university. How did that transition go, and what goals did they give you to start undertaking and getting done over there since you've joined?
Yeah, the transition was absolutely fantastic, because it was a pleasant surprise to be made aware of or become aware of the fact that this university was undertaking dozens and dozens of activities. We actually began inventorying those activities, and we hit about at number 400, and then we stopped counting. There were just so many efforts at the individual level, at the departmental level, at the unit level, etc. And we started to work with different facilities, different units, and the administration to kind of provide a glue, if you will, some cohesion in order for the folks that had been undertaking these types of activities for years to come together, combine their efforts, and leverage the effects that they were realizing. The administration was absolutely wonderful in terms of supporting those efforts. and inspiring and motivating folks at the granular level, at the individual level and departmental level, to come together to do that. And in fact, really helped us motivate the staff and the faculty to link their activities to what to the many activities that the students were and have been undertaking for quite some time as well. Without a doubt, one of the most impressive attributes of the University of North Texas that I quickly discovered was the very strong initiative that the student body in its entirety was putting forth in an array of areas to make the university not only much more green in its operations, but an environmental steward.
So let's talk about that. Let's give some specific examples, because I know there's some fascinating things that the students have done right from the ground up that I want our listeners to hear about. Share some specific examples of the student body embracement of sustainability at UNT.
Sure. To be honest, they're the reason I'm here. A couple, 3 years ago, the students began to mobilize and, went to the administration and worked with some faculty and staff to develop a sustainability council and to establish an office of sustainability and to hire a director and a staff to oversee and work with all the units on the main campus toward reaching carbon neutrality. Since then, they have just been absolutely fantastic in creating and overseeing, if you will, a number of initiatives, including an eco-rep program throughout all of our residence halls, where the students manage, oversee, and administer all the sustainability-related activities, whether it's those applicable, put into practice sorts of initiatives, or if it's outreach, education-related activities. And in order to kind of change that fundamental part of the UNT community, to bring about a change in behavior overall, the entire UNT family. In addition to that, the students have worked with our facilities folks to establish green spaces on campus, to make our dining facilities much greener, whereby we have removed our dining trays to reduce the use of water. We've made our dining halls much more organic. We're serving smaller portions, etc. They also, even last year, which was took on an affair that was quite impressive, they pushed the university to establish an environmental services fee. And in the state of Texas, we have just been recently granted authority to establish a student fee, if you will, that is focused primarily on environmental-related projects. And our students took the initiative, took the vote to the student body, passed it, and are now a part of a committee that my office works with to identify projects and to implement those projects on an annual basis.
So in essence, the students voted for a green fee, which increased their own cost of going to school.
Yeah, exactly. And a lot of folks felt that there was going to be a lot of opposition to that initiative. But we actually had about an 80% approval for that fee, which is quite remarkable in this economic context that we're all experiencing.
But it's just further proof of their commitment to the issue of sustainability.
No, absolutely. I mean, it underscores the importance that our student body has given this, that this new generation has established as a norm, an expectation, if you will, as to how it wants its university to operate and what kind of a steward it wants it to be.
Speaking of new norms, how about the usage of bikes on campus? How have what does that look like for you in the last 2 years that you've been at UNT?
Right, we've actually seen exponential growth, so much so that this year we are developing a bike and pedestrian plan because we've on our campus there's such a large number every semester it grows of folks that are bicycling across campus and to external sites off campus. And so what we're actually doing in our strategic plan, our master plan for the university, is developing a plan where all of our parking surfaces, all the parking that occurs on campus, will be moved to the periphery, and the internal part of the campus will be solely used for or by pedestrians and bicyclists.
Interesting. How about with housing? How have you greened the university with regards to respect to sustainability and the issues that surround housing?
Well, what we did in housing, I have to say that we have a great set of folks over in our facilities program division that are absolutely supportive in everything sustainability as it relates to their areas of responsibility. We have gone through all of the residence halls and established them as all energy efficient structures, and where we've gone through and all the equipment, all the appliances are required to be Energy Star approved and or have Energy Star certification. All of the water devices, if you will, have been changed. Everything's been retrofitted to integrate low water use technologies. All of the residence halls have a very comprehensive recycling program, and then of course we've got some very impactful awareness educational programs that have been, ongoing now for about a year and a half, 2 years.
We do have, Todd, we do have information that's come into our hands. John and I have noticed with great interest that UNT is going to be the first university in the state or the Republic of Texas, to be more correct, to actually employ wind turbines. Can you tell us a little about that?
That's correct. A couple of years ago, we have started to design a new football stadium. The football stadium that we had here at UNT it's a little over 50 years old, and so it was time to build a new stadium. And we wanted that stadium to be as green as possible. And so what we've done is integrated renewable energy into the design of the stadium, solar and wind. Applied for a grant about a year and a half ago through the State Energy Conservation Office, which receives funding through the Department of Energy, to purchase and install 3 100-kilowatt wind turbines on our Eagle Point campus, which is the campus where the stadium will be located. They're approximately 1,800 feet from the stadium, and will provide energy directly to the stadium and to that site. We're looking at approximately 450,000 kilowatt hours produced annually by those 3 turbines. So it's a very exciting time. We are in the process of finalizing all of the details in order to install those late this spring, early summer.
Wow!
So hopefully they'll be in place by opening day of our fall football season. And we're also linking to a number of educational and outreach opportunities. And we've also got a lot of our folks on campus, some of our researchers, quite excited about conducting research on and about these turbines and their effects.
So in terms of green building, obviously the stadium is one of the landmark projects you have. What other projects are you doing, and how are you going about in terms of the green building? The windmills sound amazing, but are you building the projects? Are they all LEED now from here on in? Are they being made with cement that has sustainable materials in it? What other things are going on with regards to green building on your campus?
Right. Just after I arrived, we were able to pass and implement a policy that all new construction on our campus will be, at a minimum, meet USGBC LEED Silver standards.
Wow.
We've got 3 structures under construction right now. Well, actually, one was just finished, and it's seeking LEED Gold. It's our life sciences complex, essentially a laboratory, which is by its very nature is very difficult to achieve a very high LEED rating, but it looks like we're going to be able to reach LEED Gold with that. We've got a new business building going up. It's about 85,000 square feet, seeking LEED Gold on that as well. And the stadium, we have been seeking LEED Gold, but the hope now is that once we can get these turbines on site and integrate the renewable energy into the facility, that the goal will be to seek LEED Platinum, which if that occurs, that will make it the greenest stadium in the world, actually.
Wow.
In terms of our other buildings, which we have approximately 180 on our campus, We've already begun to prioritize those that we will seek LEED EB status, and we're undertaking that effort as we speak. And with many of those that didn't make that inaugural year list, we are going through and conducting a number of retrofits and improvements in technologies in order to make those buildings much more efficient.
Well, if you just joined our show, we're honored to have Dr. Todd Spinks on from the University of North Texas right now. If you've got your laptop or iPad humming, you can look up what they're doing down there. Just amazing things the Mean Green is up to at www.unt.edu. You've talked about, Todd, the students buy-in and actually passing a green fee because they're so committed. The next generation is so committed to issues surrounding solutions and sustainability. How about your interaction and doing the balancing act between students, faculty, and the administration? How is that going, both politically and otherwise?
I was pleasantly surprised when I arrived here. I think every university has its challenges when it comes to integrating or combining certain interests. But here at UNT, it seems that there are just a high number of folks from the faculty, from the staff, and of course from the student body that share a common goal. And my greatest challenge really has been to keep up. To really ensure that my office and my staff are doing an effective job at trying to be aware of all the activities on campus and to ensure that there's a solid level of cohesion provided to those efforts in order to support the endeavors of our folks, our family here at UNT, so that they can realize the successes that I think they really desire to see and to see come through to fruition.
Got it. Sounds great. The first half of this show, we were so thrilled to have Shon Anderson on from Schneider Electric, and he spoke about some of the great things you're doing at UNT, more particularly the major energy conservation initiative, UNT Smart. Can you elaborate on how that started, evolved, and the success that you're having right now with UNT Smart?
Absolutely. This is a result of a very successful partnership with Schneider in a previous period where we spent about 10 years with them in a partnership, undertaking a performance contract to increase the efficiency of the general campus. That proved to be extremely successful, and so we've entered into this second partnership, second endeavor, whereby we're going to take a very aggressive approach to replacing some antiquated infrastructure with much more efficient infrastructure, replacing some of our equipment, retrofitting some buildings, installing and integrating some very impactful technologies throughout the campus in order to decrease the amount of waste that we are creating, in water and solid waste, and of course in energy. The crux of it is that we're going to be providing a much more efficient cooling for about 29 buildings, and there are 93 university buildings that are going to be renovating. We anticipate removing right around 207,000 tons of carbon dioxide from this partnership, which equates to about 42,000 cars. So this is a very significant endeavor, and hopefully will be another cornerstone, if you will, that will help propel the University of North Texas toward carbon neutrality and toward becoming a steward in sustainability.
That's fascinating, and Shon mentions a couple of touchstone issues that I want you to also elaborate on with regards to behavioral change in people and getting them to buy in and becoming part of the solution by offering them a real-time dashboard.
Right.
So they can you explain what that means, so our listeners out there can get inspired and implement something similar in their own homes and their own businesses and wherever they happen to be?
Absolutely. And this is, I think, related directly to what my office and others on campus are trying to do, particularly with Schneider, in trying to bring some cohesion, to try and show the university community, its family, and others that we're doing this together. And every action, every activity that we undertake has an impact, and collectively can have a major impact. And the dashboard is essentially computer technology, a software application that will collect the data of the effects, where we'll measure the effects of certain technologies that have been installed, the retrofits that have occurred, and be able to disseminate that information in a way that any person that visits UNT's website will be able to see overall what sort of effects are occurring at the university, and then be able to look at building by building, what a building is using in energy and water, and how that is changing over time, in order for persons to get a stronger sense of what can be done, what they can actually do, and then what is the resulting effect. I think it's a very powerful visual that our UNT family will be able to have and to benefit from, but also the folks on our campus that are conducting research can leverage that research off of that information and off of that change in behavior to hopefully bring about more behavior change. And then folks off campus can do the same. And being able to see what it is that we are doing at a very small individual granular level, or a building, what a building is actually undertaking, and how that it's realizing a certain effect, and then what the university is doing. So essentially, an individual, a family, a business off campus in this country or anywhere around the world can look at what we're doing as an example, and hopefully integrate some of those initiatives, some of those efforts into what they're doing, and then maybe that will bring about some broader behavior change.
That is just fascinating, and you just bring up a great point, Todd, with regards to inspiring others and leading the way. Do you, given your title, Director of the Office of Sustainability at UNT, do you then share best practices with other sustainability leaders at other universities across the United States?
Absolutely. We are a member of the ACPCC, American College University President's Climate Commitment, and then also a member of ASHE, which is the Association for the Advancement of Sustainability in Higher Education. And most of the sustainability officers around the country that are associated or members of these two groups, there are mechanisms provided for us to do just that, to have an information interchange, if you will, so that we can share our best practices, so we can share our trials and our errors, and learn from others' mistakes and learn from their successes. And hopefully, the underlying objective here is really to advance the technologies, the approaches, the sciences, et cetera, in as an aggressive, proactive way as we possibly can. And I frequently engage with my counterparts here in the North Texas region, in the state of Texas, around the country, and around the global community, in trying to explore different possibilities and how my understanding or my counterparts' understanding can benefit my situation or theirs. So I think there's a continuous effort, by most all sustainability officers, to ensure that information interchange is regularly occurring.
Got it. And unfortunately, Todd, we've come to the end of this show, but we're going to have you back because we want to hear about all the initiatives that you're working on, and B, if you reach platinum status over, and we're betting that you are over at your new and wonderful stadium. But Mike and I are truly honored to have you on. And Dr. Todd Spinks, you are an inspiration and a great leader of the Mean Green, and truly living proof that green is good.
Thank you, gentlemen.
This program will be available for downloading in a couple of days from our station's website, keyword podcast. Thanks for listening, and join us again next week at the same time for another edition of Green is Good.